Here in another video. And today's video might take a few minutes just because I want to share so much with you guys. So much information that can probably help anyone who wants to start Turo or anyone who already have a fleet of vehicles managing. I think this video is a big one. So, with that being said, if I were to, you know, lose everything right now, all my single vehicles, and I wanted to start tour all over again, I honestly believe I can do it faster. Although right now I'm losing, but because the way I structure my Turo fleet, the way I actually started doing Turo, I was treating this more like a side hustle because my other business was making so much money. So I was so focused on my other business, so I didn't pay attention too much with my Turo business, and I let other people run it for me, which cost me thousands of dollars. I wasn't so much involved too much. I like watching the numbers. I was more like a manager. I was managing numbers. I wasn't really doing Turo like I should. But if I were to start it all over again, I can tell you this: I would definitely be successful at it because of the experience that I have and the things that I know now. So, and this is why I want to make this video to help you guys to make better decisions moving forward. These experiences I go through them. I wish when I started my tour business, when I was watching those YouTube videos, people were 100% honest. But a lot of people, they weren't completely honest with you, and that's the problem here that caused me to not only be so greedy by growing my fleet, and I should have known having a big fleet. Don't chase the big fleet, but chase a system. Make sure you have everything calculated. Be smart when you're starting your tour business. And if you stay tuned in this channel, you will learn so much because I don't hide anything. I mean, I show everything. So I currently have 40 vehicles on Turo, and today I want to stick with the plan, explain to you guys exactly how I would do it all over again, and if I do it all over again, why I would be successful at it. And I hope it helps any host who's currently managing fleet or anyone who's trying to build, their Turo fleet. So the first thing I would do, Willie, I would probably, build a system. I think that's the number one thing. You build a system. A system can be anything, really. Just discipline. You discipline yourself. You make sure this is no longer a game. You take this very serious. Not like a high stock, like a side hustle, but you actually mean it. You're keeping track of everything, every dollar, everything, every cars. You're making sure you're charging guests for tolls. You're charging guests property for late returns. You're charging guests for pretty much everything. You know, additional mileage when the guests go over, because Turo have restriction, like mileage restrictions. You can put my vehicles, I put them for 200 miles so per day, so you can only drive the vehicle 200 miles. If you go over, unless if you book multiple days, then of course you'll have more mileage for every day, 200 miles. So if you book for 3 days, you have 600 miles. You got the idea. So yeah, I would definitely build a system so I can keep track of everything, charging guests correctly. Don't treat this like a friendly help guests. Focus so much about the customer service is extremely important. But I think me being a hotel manager where I have to compensate so many guests, I was so focused on reviews than actually managing this thing, keeping track of the expense and everything. I didn't have a system in place. I was just buying cars left and right, me and my wife, and then growing because we were looking at our earning. We see money coming in, but we wasn't really pay attention that the money that's coming in, it's cool that you're making 30,000, 32,000, $34,000, whatever monthly, it's cool. But some months when you hit this amount and you have a lot of vehicles to pay, when you only make so little, you need to have a plan. So I did grow my tour fleet way too fast, and I feel like I didn't have time to really. I was so involved in cleaning vehicles. I didn't have a right team. I mean, it just wasn't really the way I wanted to run the tour business. I was letting people doing the checkouts, letting I didn't have a handbook. You know how every company have a handbook? I didn't have nothing planned. So I think building a system is extremely important. Um, the second thing I would say is buy better cars. You don't want to buy too cheap cars. You know, I know people are saying that, oh, you can buy cars on Facebook Marketplace for $1,000, put it on Turo, expect. Believe me, that's not true. You buy a cheap car on Facebook Marketplace, that's gonna cost you a lot of money. It's gonna cost you a lot of towing. It's gonna cost you bookings. It's gonna cost you rating. It's gonna mess up your rating because Turo, if you buy the cars on Facebook Marketplace, thinking you bringing it on Turo to rent it to guests that's coming in, people who expecting high quality vehicles, well, that's not gonna work. It may work if you have a private rental, but for Turo, you can forget about it. That's not gonna work. So don't listen to anyone that tells you to go to Facebook Marketplace, buy cheap cars to put on Turo. That's not gonna work. You're not gonna be profitable. Instead, you will lose money because when you buy a cheap car, the guests go out. If the car broke down with them, and guess what? You have to spend money to get that vehicle towed, and sometimes Turo do it for you. Sometimes the guests went in, called Turo, depending on how you have your system in place. The guests may contact Turo, let them know they have an issue, and Turo will get the vehicle towed and charge you $350 for towing. If you were only making $50 on that trip, and guess what? You just have to pay another three. That's $350 charge you just received on top of losing earning for that car. So that's not good at all. So again, me personally speaking, I like to bring like newer car or good quality car from dealership. I know that sell high quality cars. Majority of my vehicles that I purchased, they were less than 60,000 miles. If they're not new, they're less than 60,000, less than 50,000 miles. So very high quality. I use dealership that I know, like Carvana, for example, was a dealership that I use. That it's a good place where you can buy cars. They sell great quality cars. So I use them. I buy a lot of cars from Carvana actually. And I also I don't want to say there's anything wrong with financing vehicles. There's absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, that was the route that I take. I finance a lot of my vehicles. If you have the cash, please, it might be the best thing to do to buy a cash car as long as you have it. But there's absolutely nothing wrong to be successful by financing vehicles. I do believe you can be successful even if your vehicles are financed on Turo, as long as you follow these rules. You make sure you get low monthly payment vehicles. Low monthly payment is extremely important because the goal is to make sure each car bring you $1,000. So if you have a monthly payment $500, that's $500 insurance and everything. So you can easily pocket $400 profit on each vehicle every month. So if you have multiple vehicles like I have right now, it becomes very profitable. You know what I mean? So that's the idea. My goal is to make 1 grand on each vehicle. But sometimes I find vehicles that over performance, like I can give you a perfect example. I think this is probably one of my best vehicles here on the platform. I like to show the earning for this car. My Chevy Camaro, if I can find it. Let's see, did I pass it? I have a Chevy Camaro here. This car right here, it's a killer. I mean, look how much money this car usually brings so far for the few months that it's been on the platform. Uh, Look at that monthly. That's a lot, and that's the biggest month right there. May. This car bring me $1,800. I mean, that's amazing. Last month, so June. So this car always performs. So that type of car, there's nothing wrong, paying $500 monthly. So as long as you have the right monthly payment for the car, you'll be fine. Okay. I think you'll be fine if you have a system in place. Like I mentioned before, you should be fine. There's nothing to worry about. With that being said, the next thing I think that's extremely important is to make a team. Like create a team. Like you need a team, like a mechanic team. I have this mechanic team right here, like this guy, these guys. I bring my car. I don't necessarily go there and repair my car. I used to. 5 years ago, that's what I used to do. Bring my cars to them, let them fix it. They charge me thousands, $2,000, $3,000 for repair, and I was completely okay with it. But I soon realized now, last year, that I was making after 8 years doing Turo. Last year, 2025, that's when I started doing my own maintenance. So now I think that's something that's extremely important. Being able to take care of the car yourself, do basic basic repair like oil change your oil, filter, all of those things. Those are things that you can learn. Like, this is so easy to do, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to put oil by yourself. Instead of bringing it to a mechanic place where they're charging you 120 or 140. It's best to just do it at you do it yourself. You can go to AutoZone, purchase the oil. They have packages for oil or advanced auto. You buy the oil and then you put it in yourself. You go online, you can buy a ramp. If you know what I'm talking about, the ramp is something that you put the car sitting. You can roll the car. That's what I have at my shop. I have a ramp, ramp for cars. Let me see if I can show you guys, because maybe my pronunciation might not be as great. Some people sometimes they question it. So yeah, you can buy these things. You put them in the floor, you drive the car over it, and it'll lift up your car. You can go underneath the car and remove the filter, remove the bolt that's on the oil pan, and then change your oil. It's that easy. So that's very important to have the skills, like where you can do your little maintenance by yourself, replacing. You have to be handy. Now with YouTube, you can get a lot of information, know how to do things. I wouldn't suggest you to do big repair. Like for big repair, for big mechanical repair, like I said, I'll bring my cars to them. I pay the diagnosis fee. They charge me. They have a deal with me where they're charging me less than normal for diagnosis, where I take the car to them, then they will diagnosis, give me the part number, everything I need, and then I will go to this website here to search for the part. You buy the part yourself. After you buy the part, here's the cool part. You have to find a mechanic mobile. You need that connections. You need to have a mechanic mobile guy who can come. You call him, say, hey, I have this part. Can you put it in for me? Then they'll look at the part. Depending on, they don't charge you based on time. He will charge you more like how big is the job. You know what I mean? How many parts that he needs to remove. Then he will charge you like $100. Like the most I ever paid my guy to put a part in, for me, it's $100. Sometimes he charged me 50. Recently, I have my horn on my Hyundai Elantra that was out. The horn was out. I purchased the horn from AutoZone because I didn't have time to purchase it anywhere else. So I quickly purchased it at AutoZone. He put it in for me. The man only charged me $50. Meanwhile, the dealership could have probably charged you $500. So it just, these things, you need to know them. You need to really pay attention to them. They can kill your business slowly and very fast, actually. Not slowly, very fast. Because I had a $50,000 credit card from Bank of America. Before you know it, my balance every month was like 20,000, 30,000. It just got so worse now. Right now, that card is gone. I no longer have that card. So now I have to wait until it got charged back, until that card got charged off, and then being able to settlement with it. So I'm dealing with a lot right now, and I'm really struggle trying to survive. And I'm stabilized my fleet now because of the system I put in place. So I'm not losing because Turo doesn't work. I do think it's a great business model. It's just the way I started, I was lack of information. And because of the lack of information that I received when I started doing Turo, like I said, I had a previous business that was making me money, take away my focus. I wasn't even paying attention. All I know is buying a big fleet. So having a big fleet of vehicles doesn't necessarily mean you're making money. So you have to have these connections. You also need a body shop, someone who can fix your car as soon as 7 days when you give them the car. Prioritize your car. So companies like this, I make partner with them. This is like not a franchise company. I mean, he hoped to grow into a franchise one day, but you find those little local guys, private body shop. You talk to them, you let them know you run a tour business and that you oftentimes need help getting these vehicles. It's important for you to get these vehicles up and running, not sitting at your lot. So all of these things are very important things that you need to make sure that when you starting a tour business, that you need to have this type of discipline, these things in place, because those are the things that I didn't usually do before. I was just quickly to repair things, quickly to make decisions based on emotion, trying to complete every trip, which is that was one thing that annoyed me. I hated cancel trip. But what you don't know is even though I cancel trip, it doesn't even show on my profile because I have very good reason why to cancel trip now. It's not just like you cancel trip, but I have very, very good reason why trip cancel. So if you look at my rating is still great. I still have great rating, but it won't shows that I canceled trip last minute. My performance page, let me see if I can show you guys my performance. I have um, let's see. Okay, how do I show this? And it's been a minute since I know it on my phone, but not like on the actual app. There you go. My performance. So yeah, so my performance right now is not too good. I'm scared. I'm worried about maintenance. You know what I mean? Like things like that can hurt you. So I have my maintenance, although showing green, but it's getting tough. My 5 stars, I'm trying to really, it's so hard now to maintain a 5 star because people complain about every little things. I mean everything. Even if a little, tire pressure, people will give you bad ratings. So there's a lot of things that you need to pay attention to. And when you have a team, you want to make sure everybody know what they have to do and make sure everyone stay on top of what they have to do. So really, the one thing I can say is one biggest thing I could mistake wasn't really buying the cars. It was more like I grow my fleet too quick. I think that was the probably the biggest thing. I grow my fleet too quick. I didn't give myself enough time to really learn the business. I mean, every new cars come with monthly payment, insurance bills, and then registration, things like maintenance, scheduling. I mean, you really have to pay attention to. There's a lot of things involved. So I think growing my fleet so quick was probably one of the biggest mistake that I made. So yeah, so and then to be honest, yeah, I'm just very excited now that I knew these things now, that it's literally helping me right now to save myself from having this 40 vehicles. I'm behind on monthly payment on some of my cars. I'm like 60 days past due. I mean, things are rough right now, but I am working. I'm making the right move now. I'm using the right tools. I have a system in place that's helping me. I can only see myself being able to save my fleet. So luckily, you guys get to see this. So this is not gonna be a one-time video. Obviously, I'm planning on making more videos. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hopefully, you found value in this video. Again, thank you for watching. And one more thing I wanted to say: if you guys hear the smoke detector in the background, let me know in the comment section because I did replace the battery. Hopefully, you guys don't hear it anymore. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.